Hi everybody, Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the June release blog hop with Waffle Flower, and I have a couple of projects to share with you using some of these hug and heart themed products. So I'm going to start with a little stenciling. This is the new duotone heart stencil along with the pop-up heart panel die, and they work beautifully together, but they also work beautifully separately or individually. Okay, I'm going to start by die cutting that pop-up heart panel into some white cardstock. I like to die cut first and blend second. That way I can line up the stencil perfectly. So this is the duotone heart stencil. Basically what it allows you to do is blend color on half of the hearts, and then the other stencil is the other half of the heart. So you get like two-tone hearts, and you could do two different colors. I'm going to do kind of a tone-on-tone type of vibe, starting with Carnation. I'm going to be using all Pawsitively saturated inks by Simon Says Stamp. And I am using, these are my favorite blending brushes, by the way. These are Waffle Flower blending brushes, and they are my favorite. I don't know why. I think it's the color of the brushes. I use them the most out of all my blender brushes. Okay, so we did Carnation, Blush, Melon, and then lastly, Lemonade. So 4 colors. You don't have to use 4 colors. You could do this whole stencil with 1 color, but I just kind of felt like doing 4 colors, and I did a light wash. It's a little bit light. Now this second stencil, which is going to be the other half of the hearts, I'm going to go full throttle. I'm going to do high intensity. So the next shade darker with the Carnation is Peony, and I'm doing that, and again, I'm putting more elbow grease into it, and I'm just making it real poppin'. Peony is one of my favorite colors. Okay, now this one, Blush again. I did blush before, but I'm using the same color. So this just goes to show if you don't have a million ink colors, you can still get that two-tone look just by giving more pressure with your blending. And here we have Sherbet. And every time I see Sherbet or I say Sherbet, it makes me think of my mom, because there's not a time that my mom doesn't have some orange Sherbet in her freezer. I swear. She loves it, and it's always there if you ever want it. And then lastly, Citrine. And there you have this beautiful two-tone heart panel. Now I'm going to zhuzh these hearts. You don't have to, but why wouldn't you? Because I really think that zhuzhing is what gives the joy to the pop-up heart panel die. And there you have it. Just pinch them. I have a ready to go white card base, and I'm just going to glue this down. I'm not popping it up. You don't really need to, because those pop-up hearts give you enough dimension as is. I'm just using some of that Bare Layers glue and getting it around the nooks and crannies. And I'm going to pop this down onto my white card base. You don't really want to press down on it too much, because you don't want to flatten those zhuzh hearts, although they might get a little bit flattened when you put it in the envelope. Unless you put some foam tape behind those. You could put little bits of foam tape. Now for the sentiment. The Oversized Hugs print die. I'm going to do the hugs out of white glitter and the backer shadow out of some vellum. Take that off camera, run it through the die cutting machine, and there you have, this is a simple oversized. Hugs is probably one of my favorite sentiments. I feel like you can use it for anything. Got a birthday? Birthday hugs. Got a sympathy card? Thinking of you hugs. Got the job? Congratulations hugs. Okay, a little bit of foam tape. Popping it up. This card screams dimension. Sing it with me. Dimension is life. Okay. Couple of little dewdrops here and there. These are by Concord, my favorite. This card's finished. It's very simple, but it gives you that warm hugs, warm fuzzies. It does me. I don't know about you. Okay, card number 2, this one. This one will get you on the inside. It's the inside pop-up hugs die. I didn't really know what I'm doing, and I know Waffle Flower is going to have some instructional videos on this. So if you want to get better instruction, watch the Waffle Flower. But if you want to get redneck instruction, watch Laura Fedora. Okay, so I'm die cutting this into a panel of white cardstock. I didn't measure, probably should have, but what this is going to do is going to go on the inside of your card. So it already makes those little pre-score marks, and what you want to do is bend those letters gently at the score marks. Now, I noticed on the Waffle Flower, they had a genius idea, which I should have did it. They slipped in a ruler, and that's a great, you'll have to watch the video to see what I'm saying, but there are some cool techniques to get this worked in so you can fold it and it pops up on the inside of your card. But here's the redneck way that I do it. And you know what? It works too. You know, it works too. There's these little bits on the bottom of certain letters. You got to fold those over and just be careful. You can see the little score marks, but when it all comes together, you can see how easy. It really was pretty easy. And you got that pop-up hugs sentiment that can go on the inside of a card. Look at that. So cute. Now I'm going to adhere this on the inside of a white card base. So there's a lot of different ways you could do this. You could die cut that hugs into some solid color cardstock. You could ink blend it if you want to add a little color that way. I'm just doing the white here, and then what I'm going to do, I'll show you. I'm going to add some color. Each letter is going to be solid color cardstock, and you'll see how it comes together. So I use a little tape runner on the back. You just got to make sure you add the tape where it's supposed to go. You know what I mean? You'll figure it out. Okay, so a little bit tape on this side, and then those little itty bitty little flaps down there on certain parts of the letter. I'm going to just add a little dot of glue, you know, just a little dab, not too much. You don't want it oozing out. You know what I say? If it oozes out the sides, that'll chap your khakis. Okay, give it a good press, count to 10, and then you'll see how this comes together. Look. I mean, it actually looks kind of cool, just white on white. It's very clean. But I'm going to take some little scraps of solid color cardstock and die cut each one of the letters. And then I'll trim them out and adhere it on top of the white letters. So you just got to cut along those score marks like so. And I kind of cut a little bit into it so you don't see the dotted lines. You just want that H and the U and the G and the S. And there's a couple more of these inside pop-up dies. There's an XOXO, and there might be a couple other ones, but I just am showing the hugs one today. It's kind of fun to give a little more attention on the inside of the card. It's often kind of ignored, and I like giving a little more attention on the inside. You know, it's kind of refreshing for a change. How's everybody doing? Are you in the warm summer climate where you are? It is here in Illinois. It's getting piping hot, I'll tell you, and it's nice that we live on the pond. The kids are jumping in. The dog is jumping in on the hour, I'll tell you. And I mean, we used to wash him off every time, but after a while, you're like, I don't have the energy to give you 5 baths a day. So pond water it is, and he loves it. He loves it. He loves running up and down the bank and just saying hi to the frogs. If there happens to be a duck in there, watch out. Because he's going to do just a big old cannonball and chasing after that duck. But he's living his best life. And then the neighbor dog, we have a neighbor dog, and his name is Zeke. And Zeke and Hank are best buds. And they run all over the place. I mean, they run all over the place, but they come home. They're good dogs. Now, the neighbors on the other side, they have a Bernedoodle. You know, one of those dogs mixed with poodle, a Bernese and a poodle mixed together makes a Bernedoodle. It's a really cute dog, but they have a fenced-in yard, and the dog never allowed to leave. Couple times the dog has jumped the fence and just lived its best life ever, but that they grabbed that dog by the neck and put her right back in the fenced-in yard. And so I feel kind of sorry because that dog just watches Hank and Zeke run around, just run around. Now here is the Tiny Diamonds panel die. I'm going to die cut this into some white cardstock. And this is very detailed. You might need a little poker tool to pop out any of those innards that don't quite come out. Very detailed. You could die cut a few of these and stack them up, but I'm just going to adhere one with a little bit of liquid glue right on the front of my white card. So it's just going to really just give some texture. I didn't really want to do a lot of competing color, just a little diamond texture. And then you got that inside. The party's really on the inside, but here's a new one, the Dotted Hearts die. You get 3 hearts, and they have little stitching holes down the middle. So you can layer them together if you wanna, and you can stitch them. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna do 3 shades, kind of coordinating cardstock that I used on the inside. And I pulled out some of this floss. I have like a floss kit. It's from Waffle Flower too. I'll try to link it if I can, if it's still available. But pulled out a little bit of that floss, tried to pick a pink color that sort of matched up. And I'm just going to do a simple, is this called a back stitch? I don't know my stitching terms, but you basically, you come in from the back and you backtrack. If I don't have the terms down, but you know what I mean. I just stitch down the heart. I don't get too fancy schmancy. If you want to get fancy schmancy with the stitching, check out Jennifer McGuire. The girl is a magician with the floss. She does the crisscross and the dots and the knots and the hearts and the ziggy zags. I'm lucky to do a good old back stitch. But there you have this dotted hearts die layered up. I went ahead and did another one of those oversized hugs die with vellum and matte gold cardstock. Now I'm going to zhuzh up this stitched trio of hearts, and you really see those layers kind of flopping up. A few more of these little dewdrops, and this card's finished. Very simple on the front, you know. It's simple, but it's eye-catching. Open it up on the inside, and you got more hugs coming at you. We're doubling up on the hugs today, and I'm here for it. Sending you hugs today. Make sure and check out the rest of the June release blog hop with Waffle Flower for more incredible inspiration. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.